Hello everybody, my name is Christine and I'm coming to you from Paris, France, where I live, and Yoga Flower.Paris. I'm bringing you an interview today of Gabriella Giubilaro from Florence, Italy, a senior Iyengar teacher who is absolutely delightful, and I can't wait for you to meet her, so stay tuned. Hello Gabriella, thank you for letting me interview you. How did you and Guruji's paths meet the first time?
I met first Guruji in Mumbai. At that time was Bombay.
Mm-hmm.
I went there to Pune for my first time to India in the year 83 with my friend Bianca Hetfield, that we were both studying and teaching already Iyengar yoga in Florence.
Wow.
And on the way to Pune, we stopped first in Mumbai because we knew that Guruji was teaching there on Sundays. So this is the first time we saw him. This is the first time that we saw his teaching. We were not part of the class. We only saw him teaching. We already got very scared of his energy. We were really afraid. And so that was my first impact with him.
Oh my goodness.
And then I stayed 3 months there in Pune. We worked with him and with Gita and with Prashant, and was good, was intense.
So you were already an Iyengar yoga teacher.
I started, I mean, I in that time, when the certificate did not exist, I was a teacher.
Yeah.
I started to do yoga in Florence with Donna Holeman. At that time, she was doing Iyengar yoga because she was one of the first students of Guruji that we called Iyengar in that time. So she was one of the first students of Iyengar, and so she was teaching basically Iyengar yoga in Florence.
Oh my goodness.
So when I went to a yoga class, I had no idea that I did not even know that exists different kind of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I went to an Iyengar yoga class, but we did not use that name at the time. And I was very impressed because she said, extend the toes, stretch the toes. I did not even know that you can move the toes. And that was it. I went back home and I tried to stretch my toes for 1 week, and then I went back, and every time she told something I could not do, I tried my best to learn to do. I did not know what was a home practice, but I was very interested to understand everything that she was teaching.
Okay.
And then I started to teach after 5 years. And first, when she asked me if I wanted to teach, she gave me the program, the asanas I had to teach, and what I had to explain to the student, and she was coming to every single class.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And for some time.
Wow.
And this is how I started, yeah. So this is what now we call mentor. So she was my mentor. So I was teaching yoga in her class, in her studio, and very often with her in the class.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, which brings
So then
me...
we go back to Guruji, and then after I went to Pune, I went to study with Guruji, with Iyengar and the Iyengar family. So I was already teaching. I did not really know even what I was teaching. Now that I see back, I have no idea what I was teaching. But I was teaching.
Wow.
And Guruji used to tell me, you think you're very good, you don't know nothing. You think you're very good, you don't know nothing. This was his mantra for 3 months.
The first 3 months that you went to him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So that brings me to my next question, because there's been a lot of movement since his death. And Abhijata has taken over his role in the family. And it's going now from teachers' trainings that have been in place for quite some time into mentorships again.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How do you see that developing?
There are good and bad things about this. When I know that the way I was training, that was mentorship, it was good, but I was living in Florence, and I had the opportunity to go every day. I was going every really every day to the yoga classes,
Right.
even Saturday and Sunday, because she was teaching to us, teacher Saturday and Sunday, and then during the week she was teaching, and I used to go to every single class she was teaching.
Wow.
So for many, many years, I did this for 16 years, 1-6. And so I don't know now how many people can do this.
Yeah.
So I had the chance to be in the class and to help, and she would tell me what to do, and I would correct. I would. She was adjusting, no, when I was correct. And I remember in the beginning I did not see anything, nothing. So every time she would say, "Okay, look at this, look this," and then slowly I learned. And now I just see a person, I can see at once what needs to be done, but in the beginning I couldn't. So what now we have many people that come from outside Florence, and they take an aeroplane, they take a train, so they cannot come every day to the yoga class. If they can, and I encourage them to do, they come for 1 week, they come to 2 weeks, and they come to the normal class. Because I agree that you cannot become a teacher just participate to this weekend's workshop. You need to go to the normal classes with your teacher, and then be in the class and start to observe, start to correct, and do some training. At the same time, it's not possible for everybody. Now people are married, they work, they cannot take all this time free.
Yeah.
Plus, we have many things that now we teach: anatomy, philosophy, psychology, technical on the voice. And this is things that I did by myself.
Okay.
I was not trained to do this. I studied some anatomy. I found books. I found teachers. I looked by myself, and I did technical the voice. I don't know even how to say in English, where you learn how to project the voice and how to be in the big group, how you have to do it. Because like today, now was 50 people. You have to know how to do it, and then. About psychology, particularly now, how to respect the students, how to respect the needs of the students, how to be firm and gentle at the same time. There are so many things that is important to
especially
know. The law,
Yeah.
because in the old times it was like
The Wild West.
the Wild West. They say like, okay, you want to do the class, and when like Donna, she had a list of names. She was writing how much we were paying. I mean, it took years before we start to say, okay, we put the money in the bank, we declare. But was very little. When I started to do yoga, I had 4 students. For years, I had 4 students. 1 class a week, 4 students. So it was not a big thing. Now the yoga is very popular.
Right.
Now they do classes. I don't do this. Maybe it can happen in 1 weekend, but they do classes with a lot of students.
Events.
And then events. And then what's happening? There are some teachers that do teacher training. They say, I've never seen it, that they have 100 students, 200 students. And then I agree that it's not possible. It's not possible to teach to 100 students or 200 students how to teach Trikonasa or Parivita Trikonasa, because in reality you don't teach how to teach. We teach how to practice, and we can teach how to observe. We don't teach how to observe, but you can stimulate. You can say, okay, look at the feet, look at the legs. So it's by example, and then you have to teach. You have to show the example of many kind of body, many people, because everybody does something different.
Right.
So it takes time. It takes a lot of time. I've been doing now teacher training 3 years. Since the beginning, 3 years, another 2 years, 3 years. And even with 3 years, not everybody gets enough maturity. And in the beginning, we used to have only 16 students. So 3 years, 16 students. And 1 weekend a month, so then 1 week in the summer, and then they used to come also to Florence, where I live, And even in 3 years, most of the times was not enough.
Wow.
So this is, in our training, what we do in Italy, what I'm always done is say, okay, you can study 3 years, but it's not sure that after 3 years you can do for assessment. Maybe you need more time. And so this is the training. And as a rule, even even legally now, if you want to be a teacher, you have to know more things.
Right, right.
We have this, what we call a professional yoga teacher. A professional yoga teacher needs to have a lot of information, more, not only yoga. So we had to provide this information. Mm-hmm. So now that we have to do the mentor, that's for my personal point of view is a release, because I could not stand anymore to do this weekend of teacher training. But I'm thinking how to integrate with all this other information.
Yeah.
Like how to integrate with the anatomy, how to integrate with the psychology, and all this other information that I need to give. How to integrate, how to take care of the woman when is pregnant, when has a period. You can do a little bit in the class, but not enough. And then particularly for the people that don't live in Florence. Mm-hmm. For Italian people, for the people that don't live in Florence. So from my point of view, I still have to understand how to do. Because
yeah.
I know how I have done, I know how much extra work I did by myself. But it was my personal interest. Mm-hmm. And I gave a lot of time to learn yoga, really a lot, not only going to Pune to the class, but also for my practice. And I don't know how is possible now for
somebody
the
to do
people.
that.
Because when I started, and the other 4 people that started with me to teach in the same year with Donna Holleman, we were all young, with no family, with no economical problems, in the sense we were living I was living with my parents.
Right.
And so I could spend all the time I wanted with the yoga. I had to study also, but I mean, apart studying, the rest of my free time was with the yoga. Wow. But now, some people want to decide that they want to teach yoga. They are 40 years old, 50 years old, they have a family, they have some economical commitment. So that cannot give all this time. So maybe I can say, okay, so then you cannot teach yoga. But I think at the same time that if they have the ability to do, everybody can give something. Mm-hmm. Now, if my person start to learn yoga and how to teach yoga, and that is more on with the age, can share something else than a young person. And I know the compassion I have now is different from the compassion I had when I was 30 years old and teaching yoga.
I can imagine. After all of these years of teaching, what now is the most important thing for you to transmit in your teachings?
Few things.
Okay.
Not only one thing. For me, the most important thing is integrity. And this is, I think, what I learned more from Guruji, what I learned more practicing yoga. And integrity is many things. It's live the life as you teach, as you preach. Not to do something and then go and teach something else. And personally, I can teach only if I do it. Mm-hmm. I don't preach, do this and do this if I am not doing it.
Right.
This is for everything, for asana, for philosophy. So integrity is very important. And then the other thing is compassion. And the compassion you learn more with the age. Mm-hmm. Because when you're young, when you're strong, when you can do a lot of things, you take things very easily, no? And then you think that people are lazy, or they are scared, they don't want to do things. And then with the age, you start to have more compassion. You understand that the limitation come no matter what. And so to have more compassion for every person when they have some limitations.
Right.
Yeah. Even not only, I'm not talking only about the physical limitation. It's also when there is some psychological, mental limits or problem, trauma.
Yes.
How to have compassion. And so for me, if you are a teacher and then you teach, can be yoga or any other thing, and you teach from the higher level, like you treat that everybody else is I don't know, like you think you are more important or better, what you call it, say, how do you say, piedistallo?
Yeah, when you put people on pedestals.
Yeah,
yes.
when you put yourself on the
pedestal.
pedestal and then you treat the other. I think that there is no integrity when you do this.
Yeah.
So we are all the same. We are all the same, and we share what we know. And this, even when Abhijata was in France at the convention, and she was saying this, I am afraid that the teacher now, they put themselves in the pedestal, and then we are all the same. And she's the first one that teaches that she's the same. I was very impressed. Like sometimes she does the invocation together instead of doing chant and respond, and this is the first sign we are all the same. Also, when she was in Poland, she asked questions. She came inside on the room and she sat on the floor, and we are all around and talking with her. No, so this is great. Also because a lot of people, they feel that are not enough good. Now we have this feeling now that you should be better, you should know more. That's so then when the teacher is like you, we are all together, then you don't feel anymore this
demystifies all that, of course. Yeah.
And so you don't.
It's inclusive.
Yeah.
Immediately. Tell me one of the most important lessons that you've learned in your life. It could be in your ordinary life or yoga related. However you want to answer this.
Yoga, not yoga, from everything.
Yoga, or life lesson.
Okay.
But yeah, if it's yoga related, that'd be fabulous.
So I think that some of my most important life lesson has been my accidents.
Okay.
And when I started to do yoga, or when I started to teach, somebody told me, "Oh, you never are a good teacher if you don't experience pain or if you don't have problems." So I remember that I was a little bit worried. How could I have a problem? And then they told me, "Don't worry, the life will take." And yes,
and it did.
I had accident. I had more than one. And let's say 2 or 3, they were really serious. And once I could not even walk.
Wow.
I could not even, and I did not know if I could walk back again.
Oh wow!
Because it was a real bad fall, and then I started to go again around on the wheelchair. I've been on the wheelchair, and I remember that the first time finally from the bed I could be on the wheelchair, I was so happy. And I went with the wheelchair to the phone, and I called my mother. I'm here in the hospital with the wheelchair. And so this feeling of being happy because I was in the wheelchair, I could move even if I was moving on the wheelchair, it was a good lesson for me. Because first of all, because if I see a person on the wheelchair, if I see a person that has some limitation, I don't feel pity for this person. I feel compassion. I want to help. But I know that this person is happy. I mean, has gratitude to be able to do what they can do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we think we get a little bit upset because we have some scoliosis, or we are crooked, or if we have one leg shorter than the other one. I have one leg shorter than the other one. I always said. And then what? And so then we we have an image too perfect of ourselves, no? And so it gives you a different way to look, no? What is important, what is not important. It's important if I have a head, if I have a brain, if I can think, and it's important if you have a heart. Because to have a beautiful body, perfect, that can do everything, and not to have a heart inside,
Something's
it's
wrong.
nothing.
Yeah. In your place where you are in your life right now, what is the most important thing for you?
You have all difficult questions.
Oh no! I want them to be worthy of. I want them to be worthy of you and what you've given us this weekend.
One of the things is I would like to be able to share as much as I can with everybody what I know, but also I would like to have more time for studying, for what we call svadhyaya. So I'm giving now more time when I can to study. For the moment I'm studying more the Yoga Sutras, the philosophy and the Sanskrit, and I would like also to study more physics.
Whoa.
That was my background.
Yes.
And because my dream is to do more studies about the concept of time, both in the Indian philosophy and in the science, because now the science is doing very interesting discovering things. So I'm a little bit going back to my interest,
and it's aligning more and more.
Yeah.
They're finding out that it's in more
so,
alignment.
So I would like to find more time for this.
Oh, fabulous!
Because for the moment, between the practice and between the teaching, I don't have so much time. And between the work I'm doing, because in the moment I'm translating into Italian the book of Edwin, the Yoga Sutra Patanjali's commentary.
Okay.
So it's already 1.5 years that I'm working there, every little free time I have. But it's beautiful, I love it. I'm very happy to do it. I've done all the books of Guruji, from English to Italian, all the editing, everything. Now I finished with this. Now I want to do my own studies.
Big mountains. Big mountains.
Yeah.
Gabriella, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time to come to my house and giving everybody your wisdom. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you so much for coming and visiting my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. You can also go to my website, Flower.Paris.com, for further information on things. And you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook and sometimes Twitter. Not very often. Until the next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Namaste.